Niall, I have syphilis. Oh my god.
You're listening to Student Sound.
Hi guys, welcome back. I'm Kieran.
I'm Abby. I'm Hannah.
I'm Kieran.
And this is our special guest and best friend, Owen.
Hi guys.
So Owen just got back from America after being there for 5 months.
I did.
What's it like being back?
It's weird. It is kind of freaky. It's kind of like going into your childhood bedroom, I imagine, when you're like 30. Because it's like everything's kind of the same, but everything looks
Completely different, yeah.
Right.
Do you think it's changed much in the past 5 months?
A lot of stores have painted their stores. I've noticed. People painting their doors. Everyone kind of looks the same.
Yeah, nothing's changed.
It's weird though. It's like, I don't know. I think I notice it more now, but I'm not here.
Yeah, and you're
Yeah.
leaving tomorrow. Jeez, dude, the time's flown.
I know.
You only arrived like, what?
Thursday.
Thursday.
No, Friday morning actually.
Today, for those of you, it's Wednesday today. So
Yes.
Friday morning you arrived, and you're leaving tomorrow.
I know.
Oh my god.
It's so sad. I really am such a ray of sunshine.
I know. Spreading the love. Oh well.
So,
Oh well.
what was it like, going back to school and like seeing everyone?
That was so freaky. And you know what? I didn't think I would enjoy seeing my teachers as much as I did. But I was like, oh my god, it's so-and-so. I don't want to name drop. But, but I got so excited. I would see teachers in town and I would actually like go over to them and give them a hug and talk to them.
Aw.
It was so sweet. It was just so great to see everyone again. And people, I don't want to be rude, but people I kind of forgot about, just to
Yeah.
see them again. And I was like, oh my god,
Be
I
reminded
forgot
of
we
them.
were friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It
even
was really
like,
nice.
is life different?
Yeah.
Like very different from Ireland and America? Like
Yeah,
New York, you're in New
definitely.
York.
I
So.
mean, I think just like it was a total culture shock. Just
Yeah.
like having, what, I'd say we probably have like 5,000 people in O'Garvey maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
No,
We
like
have-
10.
We have,
10,000, you
Really?
think?
Yeah.
I think it's
Well,
around 8,000.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
I've heard somewhere,
Between 5 and 10,000.
I've heard somewhere that in like the state of New York there's 20 million people.
Ooh, that's
So-
probably more than our population.
Yeah.
It is.
This
It's
is
5
top-
times our population.
Jesus.
So that was definitely
Yeah. Big
a
shock.
change.
I'd say.
But,
And like life over there, do you enjoy it? Like your routine?
I think like it's such a different routine of like,
Mm.
instead of a set time, I might, work one day and not work another day. I might start work at 2, I might start work at 7. It's definitely different, but I find a lot of ways I'm sort of functioning the same.
Would you say you have a lot of freedom over there? Like I'd see like very like unsafe, like being around
Yeah.
all of that. So do you think you're free, or is it more like
It's for
Being
sure
very-
freedom.
it is?
I think like being able to just, if I have a day off or even just before or after work, just being able to go around the city is kind of crazy to
That's
me.
pretty amazing.
When
like,
I think about like 5 months ago, I was
mm,
in
our little
tiny,
town, our
tiny
little
town
town.
in Ireland. I'm like, people still don't believe I'm from Ireland. They're
Oh my
like, the
God.
country?
The country.
Because it's
Yeah.
like, it's kind of insane. Like when I think about it, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But I definitely think
But
there's a
like,
lot more
if
freedom.
imagine like going from like heading into town for like
Yeah.
Yeah,
just for
no,
the crack to mess
sure.
around, then heading into New York City
It's
is
insane.
your equivalent of us heading into town for the day.
Yeah.
Literally.
You
It's
heading
insane.
into
It's
it's
insane. I know, and it's
crazy.
It
Think of the
hasn't
difference.
like I haven't forgotten that. I know it's insane.
Like think like his equivalent of the square is the Times Square.
Literally.
It's probably
Well,
like 5 times the size
yeah.
of the square.
I don't really go to Times Square. Spoiler alert: when you live in New York, Times Square isn't that fun. Like it's not. It's not it. There's other.
So our topic for today is conspiracy theories.
Yep.
Going off many of them based around Americans' conspiracy theories.
And
So
since I'm American,
we're here for the occasion. So Kieran, you want to kickstart us off with your conspiracy? We have 3 of them lined up.
So, our first conspiracy we're going to talk about, was the moon landing fake or not? First, we're going to start.
Okay.
Did you believe the moon landing happened?
I personally do.
I think it
For-
did. I think it did.
Yeah.
A huge
I'm
amount
kind
of
of on the
reasons.
fence.
You're kind of
Why?
half and half
Yeah.
because it was a
Well,
race with the Soviet Union.
You know
Yeah.
what it is?
Yeah, there's
Because like
reasons-
It
in
could have
school-
cheated it.
In school growing up, when they taught us about it, I never even pictured it in my head.
Did they
that
even
it
teach us
could've-
about it?
Yeah,
They didn't know.
but
that.
but it never even occurred to me that it could have been fake. But
Yeah.
then when I saw the actual footage, I was like, it doesn't look real. But then again, like, how
But-
could it look real?
Yeah, but if you
Yeah.
think, like the technology we have today, it is possible. Even if it was fake back then.
I mean, the
I
technology
think-
Well,
they
like,
had
yeah, it
back
was
then.
like
then, back
69.
then, yeah, in
In the
fairness, yeah, that's
60s?
understandable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
Like
between
69.
So
Yeah.
even if it was faked
Yeah.
back then, it could become real now. Like we have the technology
Definitely.
now
Oh,
to
for
do it.
sure.
Definitely.
I
even
think
if the
so.
first one was faked, there was 5 other ones. There were 6 Apollo
Yeah.
missions
Like,
between.
So
There
maybe
were-
the
there
first
were
one, Neil
smartphones
Armstrong,
in the
maybe no.
1960s.
I personally believe it was real
Okay.
because I think with this theory it kind of goes hand in hand with flat Earth because a lot of the proof that the moon landing did happen was NASA, and a lot of the flat Earth people don't believe NASA's trustworthy.
Wait, I'm sorry, just do like votes. Who does think the Earth is flat?
Nobody
Anyone
thinks
know?
the Earth is
No one
flat.
here thinks
Okay,
the Earth is
good, good,
flat.
I'm just
Yeah.
used to this. So anyway, like NASA is the one who did the mission.
Yeah.
And there's a couple reasons why the Americans might have faked it, and like
Fame.
To win the race.
yeah, like
To win
there
the
was
race
there
with
was a
the Soviet
space race between the Soviet Union
yeah.
and the Americans. Like,
Yeah.
oh, we're gonna get to the moon first. No, we're gonna get to the moon first. And so they were both racing each other. Well, Russia got the first person into space, but
Yes, definitely.
America got the first man on the moon, and that's seen as
That's
more.
what they say.
bigger.
Yeah.
I mean,
So that's one reason why they might have faked it. Another reason was funding. NASA was kind of losing funding, and they told, "Hey, if you give us $30 billion, we're going to go land on the moon."
Yeah.
That is actually a really good reason to
Yeah,
I
fake
mean,
it.
like the whole
Definitely.
project
And-
cost what, like 25 billion?
Well, that's what they say. If it was faked,
It was
like
fake.
to record it, to like video it,
Yes,
to do
yeah.
all that, that must have been way cheaper than trying to send a man to space.
They didn't
So-
have that technology back in the
To film it.
69 to like make it like that.
How do
Like
you know?
right now we have CG and things like that, but back then they did not.
But it wouldn't be that hard to like have a
Yeah.
literal black
It's just
screen
black and
behind
moving in
you,
Earth.
a few little lights, and then like a sandy kind of
I guess.
surface.
I mean, yeah, they everyone will say it was staged. There was they practice on these kind of areas, like practice for being on the moon, and some people think these were used to fake the moon landings and studied. So
What do you think about the waving flag? Because in the video that they have, the flag is waving.
it shouldn't be waving.
Exactly. So how does that work?
But I mean, well, none of us has been on the moon, so none of us can tell
Yeah,
if
but
anything
zero
is
gravity.
It's not
Maybe
zero
it's not
gravity.
zero
technically.
gravity. Yeah,
it's
maybe
not
it's
zero
not zero
gravity.
gravity.
There is gravity on the moon. It's just
No,
not as strong as
but
Earth.
maybe,
It's
But
very
like
but
how
there's,
gravity works.
but there's
is
no
you have-
winds. To make
Yeah,
the
there's
flag
no
wave, there got to be
wind.
winds.
There's no atmosphere.
Well, I mean,
Exactly.
I don't know.
So what's the chance we don't know anything about the moon in any way?
Exactly,
So
yeah.
how do we know there's zero gravity? There could be water on the moon. We
Well,
really
it's
don't know.
Kind of obvious. Well, we know how gravity works. It's one
Yeah.
really big object and all the small objects attached to that big object.
Like a magnet.
Yeah,
It is a magnet
like the Earth is like one big magnet, and we're all
pulled into the
Tiny
center of
magnetic
it.
field,
yeah. That's how gravity works. If I jump out a window, I'm gonna fall to the floor. I'm not gonna float off, unless I'm like Superman or something. But anyway, back to the whole funding thing. So the guy who actually founded the fake mooning thing, his name was Bill Casing, if I'm getting that right.
Okay,
Proper
so
pronunciation. But he wrote a book.
a book.
A book. Oh, what was it called? It was "We Never Went to the Moon," and in this book,
Okay.
he said the $30 billion that NASA got was used to pay off people that like
that
were
they're in
just-
debt to.
that they're in debt to. Yeah.
Smart.
So anyway, that was the whole kind of funding thing, and another main reason why they might have faked the moon landing is the Vietnam War.
The Vietnam.
Like-
Tell us about that.
So, America went to war kind of in Vietnam, and we're fighting
Alright.
the Viet Cong, and
Mm-hmm.
because it's all force out there, they were losing.
Bloodbath.
So it was very unpopular with most people because.
So it was basically to get the rep back up.
And so yeah, they just wanted to distract people from the war, so they were just like,
Right.
"Hey, we got a man on the moon. We're the coolest people ever." So like, but there's loads of like you kind of have to. Like, so these are reasons why they could have faked it, but there's lots of evidence from NASA. Like they've taken pictures of the moon, they've shown these sites, and it's not
and they've
just
taken pictures of the Earth from the moon.
yeah,
So
That wouldn't be that hard to fake though.
yeah, but like even though
Satellites.
yeah, I mean
They had satellites. in
oh
space.
yeah,
yeah, like Sputnik
True.
and all that.
Yeah.
But even though it's not just NASA who've done this. What's their name? LRO. What do they stand for? It's like, where is it? So there's a bunch of like third party people who have taken like photos, and they've seen like the tracks that the lunar stuff make, and they see 5 of the 6 American flags on the moon. The only reason in the Apollo 11 mission, so the first one, they landed on the moon, they planted the flag, they go back in, they take off, but that fell over because of like rocket exhaust stuff, and like it just blew over.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, like, if what, like, a proof that the moon landing could have happened is they managed to get the Mars rover on Mars. So if they managed to get a robot on,
later.
Was it a lot later?
There's loads of third party evidence as well. It's not just
There
NASA.
is, yeah.
They're like, I can't think of their name. But they've taken photos of sites and like they've seen this, and they have like, I think it's like 870 kilos of moon rock. It's a lot of moon rock.
Moon rock.
Moon rock.
What makes it moon rock?
Yeah.
It's from the
Well,
moon.
no, because isn't the
experiment.
moon like a chunk of Earth, like
Yeah.
that drift off in
Yeah,
space?
it is,
Basically.
but it's
So
rock
it's-
from the moon. It's what
So
they
they just
collected
chop
from
it
the moon.
off
Yeah, probably.
Literally.
with their axe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get a
Split the moon in
pickaxe
half.
and just what about
If you
aliens?
think about
Do
it,
we have
anyway,
aliens on the moon?
It's really surprising that America got to the moon instead of the Soviet Union, because by the time the
Well-
Soviet got the first man into orbit, NASA was still like completely crashing rockets. They barely got a rocket like 50 meters into the air before it exploded.
I just think like the U.S. just put so much effort, kind of made it its national sort of mission.
It was its
really
goal.
just drew attention to
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
to the point where they put so much pressure on themselves they couldn't fail.
Yeah.
I think that's why they really pushed themselves.
Yeah, it was Kennedy who wanted to land on the moon, but he
Yeah.
died. Was it 63 he died? Or 64?
No idea.
Sure.
Yeah, but he died before it did.
It's kind of sad.
There's a lot of conspiracy theories on his death as well.
Yeah.
Got shot.
America is just one big conspiracy continent.
Illuminati.
Illuminati,
But
oh my god. Get Shane
anyway,
Dawson up in here.
So it was his goal to put people on the moon, and he died. But in '69, they did end up getting it done because of the amount of pressure that was put on them.
And like, what is like, are there conspiracies going on that the moon is the moon even real?
Okay, now that's a bit like.
Like,
Come
is
on
it-
now.
That's
Like-
a bit extreme.
Is the moon made of blue cheese?
Is it made of cheese?
Is that how far
Oh
we're
my
going
god,
now?
I used to always
Is
think the moon was made
is
of
the
cheese.
moon
when we were
paper
young.
mache?
It's a paper mache. Is it like a simulation? Is it all
Oh my
just
God.
make
Is it all a lie?
That it really makes you think, like,
That's
I
the
really don't know.
what else could like be going on? Like, especially with the Illuminati,
Yeah.
like a secret service kind of agency. Like, you're thinking, like, what the hell are they doing?
Yeah, I just think like Illuminati. I'm not sure why, but maybe it's just because celebrities are like obviously have more attention on them. But I don't know
Yeah.
why. Just in recent years, there's been so much attention drawn to celebrities being in the Illuminati and so much speculation, like certain celebrities. I think it's so strange.
But even if you've seen, like, as we were doing research on all the conspiracy theories, I like found loads of kind of conspiracies of celebrities being like traced by the government and like spied on by the government. I think Elton John
That's
was one of
nothing
them.
new.
I think.
Yeah, but anyway, even if the Illuminati exists, as long as it's not like interfering with like government policies and that.
Well,
kind
no,
of stuff.
because the
You don't know
Illuminati.
that though.
No, the Illuminati
They
are,
could be.
are like
Well, like they
working
could
with.
be like
They're
they-
working with the National Security Agency.
With or like.
Like with,
Governing.
yeah.
How do we know
Well,
that?
well, no, okay. I showed it to Kieran earlier. If you type Illuminati backwards into it, brings you to the NSA website.
Yeah.
Like,
Like,
is
does
that
it show
not?
it up on the
Yeah.
thing, or it brings you straight into it?
It just brings you straight into it. If you put like, what is it? Illuminati backwards. .com, I think it will bring you into the NSA.gov website. It
That
is
is
I
like
so
just
if you-
realised we looked,
Now, is
we looked
that-
that
is
up
that-
in school.
that-
That's
that-
be on our school records.
That could
Oh my
not be
God,
like an
sorry.
NSA thing. That
Illuminati.
could not be like an Illuminati thing. That could be like an NSA thing. Like, oh, you're looking up the
Why
Illuminati.
would NSA do that?
But why
there's no
Because
Illuminati
point.
backwards?
NSA look at everybody.
that
Yeah,
is
but
true.
There are certain words in the government where if they hear them,
That's-
they will listen to you and they will track you and you'll be put on watch lists.
So my laptop right now could be
Yeah.
listening to us.
If you
Just
like,
wait to take over.
if you scream,
Why didn't they just put Illuminati normally then? Why back?
No, because that's too obvious.
yeah, it's
That
like,
was a bit too
oh,
obvious.
did not come
I have
back.
to say, I think Illuminati backwards is too obvious too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. But if you think like, yeah, they should be like, I don't know. It's kind of.
I mean,
If they're gonna put it backwards,
it
may
could
as well
just been a
put it
huge
forwards.
joke that
Yeah, but,
someone
like,
made
yeah,
this
I
like.
think
that's-
if
tag.
I think they would get fired on the
That's
spot.
hacking.
Yeah, but,
That's
like, if-
literal hacking.
Yeah,
No,
they
but it could have
disappear.
been a tag that like you type it in and just brings you to
That's-
it.
If
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
NSA
Yeah.
and
Just
the
could've been
Illuminati
a
were
joke.
working together, I really don't think they would just put, hey, you know, it's a great idea, let's put
Bloody
illuminatibackwards.com and
I
it brings
mean-
us to our website. So
Literally.
that's like not sketchy at all.
I have a theory that the Illuminati is one thing, secret society, and then we have us peasants who aren't in it, who are like trying to come up with all these crazy, insane theories that like Miley Cyrus is Justin Bieber. They're clones from the government,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that Taylor Swift died in like the 1970s, whatever it was, and Avril Lavigne died in a car crash. And,
Elvis Presley's still alive apparently as well.
and Tupac Shakur,
Yeah.
Michael Jackson lives on an island somewhere. Like all these
Jeff
things,
Epstein.
all
Are-
these
we're
like,
creating these
insane
conspiracies,
things,
yeah.
yeah, that have been sold to us as being connected to the Illuminati.
The Illuminati could just
Like,
be in a bunch of middle-aged men sitting around a table with a
Drinking
bottle of wine.
scotch,
Yeah,
for
drinking
sure.
scotch.
Literally,
Just
yeah.
chatting about.
Absolutely.
like-
Or they could be destroying the world, but we have no way of knowing.
Yeah.
We really don't know, and we will never know.
So this is Operation Sunshine.
Project
Project-
Sunshine.
My bad.
Project Sunshine. Project Sunshine
Is
is.
one of
Should I do a warning? We should probably put a warning in about
oh,
Project
big
Sunshine.
warning. This is very gruesome.
Yes.
It's not gruesome. It's just
It
very.
is gruesome.
It is
Is it
pretty
really?
It's
gruesome.
gruesome.
Yeah, it kind of hits you in
It's
the feels.
kind of
yeah.
messed
Yeah.
up.
It is. It's messed up.
Can I handle?
Yeah, I'd
Okay.
say
You can handle. You don't know about Project Sunshine, do you?
No, I don't.
None of you know about Project
I don't.
Sunshine.
he does.
You do. You did a little bit of research on it. So
Yeah.
I did a bit of
I did
research
as
on
well.
it.
I did.
You did.
I
Okay.
read the
So
Wikipedia
Well,
page.
you know, I have to say, Project Sunshine sounds absolutely lovely.
it
By the
sounds
name.
lovely. Yeah.
Sounds like a lovely like
It's-
charity,
Actually,
like work with
no,
children.
It
there
is
was
a
a
charity.
charity. There
No.
was a
There's a
charity
charity.
Still a
founded.
charity.
It's still. It was founded in 1998, I think, called
Yeah.
Project Sunshine, but it's not this.
It's
This
no.
was 1953.
It's a charity to cope with
I
the
have-
children who had.
I have chills.
That's
Who had
What
Project
happened?
Sunshine?
Who
Who
were
were in
affected by
Project,
Project
yeah.
Sunshine.
Okay, I'm in.
Was
Tell
it
me all
ready?
about it.
Okay. Okay.
You
Listen
really
up.
don't know.
So back in 1953, at the height of the Cold War, in the wake of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the U.S. government commenced a series of research studies to find out the impact of radioactive fallout on the world population. It only became known to the public in 1956, but the conspiracy was the government was stealing dead bodies to do radioactive testing. Plot twist, this conspiracy is actually true. The truth was the government was stealing parts of dead bodies because they needed young tissue. They recruited a worldwide network of agents to find recently deceased babies and children, then take samples and even limbs, each collected without notification or permission from more than 1,500 grieving families.
Wait, so did they just
That
like,
is
go
super messed
to a
up.
grave
Very
and like
messed up.
Yeah,
dump
body
a little baby?
snatchers. Body snatchers.
Literally.
Seriously?
They dug up
Literally.
babies,
They
'cause-
dug up dead babies.
And they used alive babies too. Like ones right out of the womb because that would be the most.
Stillborn
Stillborn,
babies.
yeah.
Why wouldn't they just make a law that all dead babies have to? You know what I mean? Or just
Would
make
you
it-
donate their body to scientific research? But that's
Exactly.
the thing.
Yeah,
Like
they
they have a
government.
thing now that when you die, you can donate your body for scientific
Yeah.
Do you
research.
think that's why?
What do you mean?
Do you think it was
Maybe.
inspired by that?
No.
Maybe it's for permission to. But anyway, so on January 18th, 1955, the commissioner of the AEC, which is the American Atomic Energy Commission, Dr. Libby, said that there is nothing more important to the AEC than Project Sunshine. He said there was no information regarding the effects of fallout due to the lack of human samples, especially samples from children. His quote was, "There are great gaps in the data." He elaborated, by far the most important gap is human samples. We have been reduced to essentially zero level on human samples. I don't know how to get them, but I do say it is a matter of prime importance to get them, particularly in a young age group. He said this to like an audience of
Yeah.
people.
What they did before getting babies was they got 5 soldiers who were in the Marine or
Air Force.
Air Force.
No
in the
way.
Air Force, yeah, and tested on them. But since the results weren't
weren't
accurate.
accurate enough. They needed babies.
They got
So okay,
babies.
so they obtained a large number of stillborns as material, but however, this supply was cut off. Dr. Libby told the audience expertise in body snatching would be highly valued. His quote, "So human samples are of prime importance. If anyone knows how to do a good job of body snatching, they will be really serving their country." He literally encouraged body snatching, which is illegal in many countries,
In most.
in pretty much all.
Yeah.
So after this quote about body snatching, it led over to 1,500 samples being gathered. Only 500 of them were analysed. Many of the 1,500 samples were babies and young children. They were taken from countries from Australia to Europe without their parents' consent or knowledge. So imagine like you having a child
Yeah.
and it dies and someone just steals it from its grave.
No. Yeah, that's
It's
that's very messed up.
it's
And
insane.
you think you're
And a
going to the grave
thousand
to
of-
visit your baby,
And there's
Yeah,
nothing in it. It's
that's
just
nothing.
there's nothing.
A
Imagine.
thousand of them
So
weren't used too.
Jeez.
1,000 of
Do
them weren't used. What did they do with the 1,000
Exactly.
babies? Cremated them, I assume.
Do they refill the grave then once
I
they
guess
Well,
so.
you
take
just
the
throw the
child?
Probably
dirt. Yeah, you
not.
put
Just
the
the
dirt back
dirt.
on. Oh, and also, okay, so this is completely next level messed up. After a British newspaper reported that British scientists had obtained children's bodies from various hospitals and shipped their body parts to the United States, a British mother said that her stillborn baby's legs were removed by British doctors and to prevent her from finding out she was not allowed to dress her baby for the funeral.
That's
So messed up.
not right.
That is so messed up. Imagine.
I know what I find the most shocking about this, that it's 2020. I'm only hearing about this now.
Yeah, this
That's
happened in
insane.
1955.
That's insane.
19
This
but,
is
like-
more talked about.
I'm
During the
surprised it's
Cold
not.
War, like the Cold War
I'm not
ended in
that surprised it
1991.
isn't talked about.
No, yeah, neither am I.
Like the government, they
It's
will shut this
super
stuff
messed
down.
up.
They do not want this stuff getting out.
But there's and
I mean,
it's just and I was surprised about how much I could find out about it. There's so many websites linked to it, and like telling you about it, and it's just oh my god.
what's
And okay, and it now in fairness, it did Belgium. We love Belgium. Belgium is great, alright? So in 1958, research for Project Sunshine was brought to Belgium. Scientists started doing tests that were slightly different than those done previously in the United States and Europe by analysing soils and agricultural regions instead of human bones.
it's way
which-
better.
Yeah, it's much better. So that's why I said we love Belgium.
Yeah.
And now what I like, I've said this to you before we started recording. There is nothing said about Project Sunshine being shut down.
Yeah.
The only thing I could find was many of Project Sunshine's files are missing or suspected of being destroyed decades ago. But there is nothing said about, in 19 whatever, Project Sunshine was come to shut down.
Oh, but surely
It has to be shut down by
yeah.
now, because if people know about it, they're
People
obviously...
they would not get.
But there is nothing, like I could never, I only found the base, like, information, I could not find anything.
People would protest way too
I'm
much.
sorry, I'm
Oh,
a
yeah.
little bit
I
confused.
give-
What were they actually using the research for?
So to find
Atomic
out
bombs, basically.
radio fallout and the effect on the human body.
Okay.
How much?
I can get why they
radiation
would.
would kill someone.
Right.
And
Well, I
then-
think anything.
But see,
would
there was
be-
more projects like this, like the Chicago Baby Project. So like radiation tests on like mentally retarded teenagers, ethnic minorities.
Yeah, that's not the first of like. Before they
like
did
you go from like retarded teenagers to babies. Like how do you go? Like like, imagine like
Wait, so
Or
are
someone
retarded
our
teenagers
age.
dead?
no, someone our
No, they
age who
just-
probably had Down
Yeah.
syndrome or something, like literally taking them away and doing tests, radioactive
literally.
tests on them. Like it's so radiation tests. Like it's so bad.
No.
And Don Peterson, a retired Los Alamos researcher familiar with the test, defended the test in an interview, saying there was probably no other way for science to obtain this kind of information at the time. He said the use of rats or other animals would not obtain the same results, and this was a case of children who were no longer beneficial to the population being able to provide information that was enormously important for the rest of the world's children. There is no ethical back to this.
Yeah, but I get why he defended it. Like, if he didn't, it would be basically saying that he conducted experiments that he knew were wrong.
Yeah,
If he didn't defend
but it's
it.
still there's no like there's nothing ethical about it. Like the fact that he said that they were no longer beneficial to society still doesn't mean you can go snatch a baby's body without the parents' permission and do tests on it.
Yeah, but
I wouldn't be okay with that if I died
Even
and
like
left
even the
that
story
in
of
my
the
family.
British mother whose baby's legs were cut off. She wasn't allowed to dress her baby for the baby's funeral. Imagine how heartbroken she would have been. Like, at least bury the baby first, get that done with, and then go snatch it. But don't do that to a mother whose baby just died.
no, but what's worse is that it happened before. Like, there was a project called Tzatziki, which basically was approved. This wasn't approved. This wasn't approved to like snatch
Project
children.
Sunshine, yeah, it was.
But Tzatziki, it was approved to take Africans and conduct experiments on them.
on African.
On
Yeah, but
Africans.
how many years ago was that? Africans used to be
It was
slaves.
before. It was
Before, yeah, well, that's like.
But still, that's messed up.
1940s,
Like, they
yeah.
were told, you're saving people by
Doing
making
these.
a cure.
Yeah. But it's still like. I guess with their permission. Like, if someone
It wasn't
came
with
to.
their permission, it was with the US's permission.
Oh,
Of
no.
the scientists to take African.
To take African people
take
away to
Africans.
do radio.
Let's be real for a second. What's the most talked about country in the world?
In America.
America.
But is
Most
that.
focus on it. Let's be real. I think every single country has some skeletons in
Yeah,
its closet, but
True,
I think
very
everyone's more focused on America.
That is very, very true. Well, what are the Americans focused on themselves, I assume?
Food.
I plead the fifth.
Oh my lord. It is just concerning what people,
Yeah.
what you don't know is going on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then the entire American population is judged for what these people did. It's not fair.
Yeah, no, that's true.
That's like
For
saying,
sure.
Yeah.
oh, your dad was
But that's
one
isn't
of the
that every
black and tans.
stereotype?
I hate all English people.
But isn't that every stereotype?
That's what you guys do
Yeah,
to me.
that's,
I
that's
know
every
it's not
stereotype,
fair.
It is called stereotyping, and I get why people do it, but it is kind of like a joke as well. Like, we have two Americans sitting in front of us, and we're kind of here like, your country is so bad. But you guys can look at me and say, well, Italy switched sides in World War II. What the hell is that about?
I was gonna like go after England, but okay.
England, yeah, that's kind of messed up as well, but we don't talk about England. Like, yeah, as you said, every country has skeletons in their closet.
Yeah.
America
Yeah.
just has a few too many.
Yeah.
Moving on to maybe a little more gruesome conspiracy.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
so
I'm
scared.
sorry for
I'm
the
so
warning. Anyone want
scared.
to turn off now if you don't do well with murder mysteries?
Oh, I do love a good murder mystery.
You do.
Yeah.
I really
So-
do.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
Is this very gruesome?
No, it's not that detailed.
Okay.
It's not that.
It says because I have 9 pages on it. Yeah,
Right.
so this is kind of a lot longer than the rest of the guys' stuff,
Okay.
but like, you
Shoot for
know.
it.
Okay, so the murder mystery I'm doing is on Jean-Benet Ramsey. I hope I'm saying that right. I think it's like French or
Probably.
something. But on the night of December 26th, 1996, Patsy Ramsey, Jean-Benet's mother, found a ransom note for her daughter on the back staircase in the house. This made
Whoa.
Patsy ring the police at 5:52 a.m. to report, obviously,
Wait,
Jean-Benet was
what
ransom note.
state was this again? Sorry.
Colorado, I think.
Okay.
Colorado.
So Burke Ramsey, her brother, he's 9. John Ramsey, her dad. Her brother, and dad were the only others in the house at the time when Patsy rang. Her body was found less than 8 hours later inside the utility room in the basement. She was found with duct tape over her mouth and a cord around her neck. It was recorded that the scene of the crime was heavily compromised by the people, arriving. The police claimed that they hadn't searched the house after Patsy's call because there was no reason to believe that,
She was there.
she was in the house.
Yeah.
Jean-Benet was a beauty pageant contestant. She won at least 5 high-profile competitions, and her death was ruled a homicide. So the autopsy found that Jean-Benet was bludgeoned to death, beat repeatedly, while the country counter, I think that's what it was called, found she died from asphyxiation. Cause
Suffocated.
suffocation, yeah.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
no.
Caused by being strangled, And then a paintbrush from Patsy's hobby kit was used to tighten the ropes that strangled Jean-Bonnet. There was DNA found on Jean-Bonnet's long johns and underwear, both belonging to a single unidentified man. There are 2 sets of unidentified footprints found at the scene. There was a rope found beside the her bedroom, which did not belong to the Ramseys. As of 2006, the rope had never been tested. If someone did break into the house, they did so, really, really well, because there wasn't any footprints in the snow outside the house,
Okay.
as well as no sign of forced entry.
I mean,
So
they-
that would make you suspicious on whether they were already in the house.
Yeah,
Or
Or
whether
if
they
it
had
was
been
the
planning it
family.
a while.
that is also...
Wait, was the family in when the murder took place?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
whole family was
They
asleep
were
in
just
bed.
chilling at home. They were
They were in
home.
bed asleep, because it was at like
Damn.
5,
Yeah, in
4
the
o'clock in the
morning.
morning.
You wouldn't just pick a random child. They must have been,
Must have been
especially
Yeah,
Yeah.
if
seeing
it's
as
like
she
a
was
local,
like,
local celebrity.
she
that's
was
something
out
we don't
there,
watch
Yeah,
in
and
the
she was a
wild.
pageant queen.
because
Yeah, yeah.
as pageant children are, they're like overly sexualized.
Yeah.
So like, obviously someone took
How
a
old
fancy to
was-
her.
John Bunny.
I'm actually not sure. I'd say she was around 5, 6.
5 or 6.
Jesus,
Yeah.
I thought, like,
So obviously, like, whoever kidnapped or killed her, obviously
Yeah.
thought, like, hey, listen, she's a pageant child at age 5, 6, multi-national winner. Like,
Yeah.
her family got to have money. That's obviously what they assumed.
yeah.
But you think pageants are expensive. They are very
They are.
expensive.
Yeah. So like, I'm pretty sure her dad owned a business as well. So that obviously made them really, really
Just-
rich.
Jeez,
Yeah.
okay. And, like, big house, obviously. So she must have been a target.
Wait,
Yeah.
so how much time was it between the murder and when they found out that
8 hours.
They found out that she was gone, or that
they found out that she was gone?
Oh,
I think, I'm actually not too sure. I never looked into it, but her mother, it said it was like 5 o'clock in the morning when her mother found the ransom
Found-
note. Do you want to hear the ransom note?
yeah,
Yeah.
we're just
Okay,
supposed to know.
so the ransom note reads, Mr. Ramsey, listen carefully. We are a group of individuals that represent a small foreign foundation. We respect your business, but not the country it serves. At this time, we have your daughter in our possession. She is safe and unharmed. And if you want her to see 1997, you must follow our instructions to the letter. You will withdraw 118,000
Okay.
from your account.
That's so specific.
Yeah, I'll get into that in a few minutes.
Oh, okay.
100,000 will be in $100 bills.
That is very suspicious.
And the remaining 18,000 in $20 bills. Make sure that you bring an adequate size attaché to the bank. When you get home, you will put the money in a brown paper bag. I will call you between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. tomorrow to instruct you on delivery. The delivery will be exhausting, so I advise you to be rested. If we monitor you getting the money, we might call you early to arrange an earlier delivery of the money and hence an earlier pickup of your daughter. Any deviation of my instructions will result in the immediate execution of your daughter. You will also be denied her remains for proper burial. 2 gentlemen watching over your daughter do not particularly like you, so I advise you not to provoke them. Speaking to anyone about your situation, such as police, FBI, etc., will result in your daughter being beheaded.
Oh, okay, that's gruesome.
Yeah. If we catch you talking to a stray dog, she dies. If you alert bank authorities, she dies. If the money is in any way marked or tampered with, she dies. You will be scanned for electronic devices, and if any are found, she dies. You can try to deceive us, but be warned that we are familiar with law enforcement and tactics. You stand at 99% chance of killing your daughter. If you try to outsmart us, follow our instructions and you stand at 100% chance of getting her back. You and your family are under constant security as well as the authorities. Don't try to grow a brain, John. You are not the only fat cat around, so don't think that killing will be difficult. Don't underestimate us, John. Use that good southern common sense of yours. It is up to you now, John. Victory. And it's signed 2 initials, SB and TC, which have been a mystery to this day.
That's so much information. They could have easily found something.
Yeah, like if for
It's
a
very
ransom note, it is
crazy.
really
It's very
detailed.
detailed.
Like it's detailed to a T.
Yeah. It's formal. Like they're
Yeah,
using his
it's
first
almost
name and phrases that he might know.
this. It's so detailed that you think like it could be fake.
Yeah.
Could be the dad.
No.
No,
What
I
I
don't
find
think
most
so.
interesting, besides the 118,000, is the initials.
yeah,
I mean, you have to wonder,
Did they want to be caught? Like,
or did they just choose random,
names.
letters?
and also to think when they said there's 2 men guarding the daughter downstairs,
Yeah.
like in the basement.
No, it didn't specify that she was in the basement.
Oh no, I
just
know.
guarding
But
her.
like what we know now, obviously, if she was in the basement, there
But
must
I
have been.
think you know the way her mother found the note and
Yeah.
immediately rang the police.
Yeah.
I think somehow they could have gotten a notification that she rang them and then immediately killed her before they even got away with her.
That makes sense because I was thinking they didn't do anything. They read the note, but obviously, yeah, she did call the police.
Yeah, I feel like that could be a
But
possibility. of
why
what
would
happened.
she read the ransom note?
Because she panicked, she didn't know what else to do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go to your
And
husband and tell him.
Keep in mind though, like, talking to the police in 1998 is a lot different from talking to the police in 2020.
yeah,
They were a lot more trusted, especially in the US.
Yeah, but
A lot
still,
more.
though, you read the note. It says you call the police, we're gonna kill your daughter. You can easily kill your daughter. The note wasn't even for her; it was for her husband. Would you not run to your husband and give your husband the note? Like, does that
He was
not make
asleep,
sense?
though, so maybe she didn't want to wake him up.
Okay, so if
No.
your child was
I
kidnapped
feel like
and
I
held,
did watch
and her
an interview.
the chances of her dying were super high, I think that's enough for you to wake your husband
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
to inform him that your child is at
But that
risk.
seems like something like I've watched a few documentaries on it, and it seems like something that her mother would do because he's
Not for
asleep.
this though.
I know, but like she's a really odd woman.
Oh god. But like,
So-
oh no, he's sleeping, so I'll just deal with the fact that my child's about to die on my own.
Yeah, it is
Why?
really
That's not how it works.
And
yeah
where did she find the ransom note?
on the
The
stairs.
That is so messed up.
I'm assuming it's the stairs leading down to the basement.
No, I'd say it's stairs going downstairs,
Going
like down,
upstairs.
like
Yeah.
Yeah,
like what she was obviously in
Oh,
bed
oh,
upstairs.
yeah.
and then she
Came
went down to get like
downstairs.
water or something.
Maybe she heard
Yeah.
some footsteps or something downstairs. Came down.
But if she
saw the
heard
note.
footsteps, wouldn't she have woken up the husband?
Yeah.
Maybe she, as you said, she obviously didn't want to bother the husband if she found out her daughter was kidnapped and she wouldn't.
Yeah,
have
that
waken
isn't
him
like
up.
factual. I was just saying she
I-
could have
I'm
not
saying,
wanted to
like,
wake him up.
I just this week I thought I heard footsteps. First thing I did,
You
went
did.
and woke up my dad.
Yeah.
That's
there
something
was
you
no
would
one
do.
downstairs.
grabbed the gun.
You'd think if
But
she loves
still.
her husband, her loves her protector, whatever. You'd think if she feels vulnerable or like
yeah.
at risk, you would wake her up for
Yeah,
the
definitely.
comfort of your loved one. Like it doesn't make sense.
But more than anything, why would you one person is at so much more risk of being like eliminated than 2 people.
Yeah,
You get another person involved, it becomes more complicated.
Mm.
It becomes harder for them to kidnap you, harder for them to kill you. There's another person there. Why would you think in your own head? You know what I mean? I don't get that. I don't understand that. How you wouldn't.
Like in
talk
fairness, like
to
I
them.
actually didn't think of that because I completely forgot you said she called the police. So I was wondering why is she dead? Why'd she turn up 8 hours later?
yeah.
But then, like as
Why was
I
she
said,
in
like
the basement?
Obviously, they were getting away through the basement or something.
no, obviously, no. Maybe they could have thought, well, what's the last place they're going to check? The last place they're going to check is the basement. They could, that was as far as they're concerned, their toner's gone. So maybe the
That's
basement
true.
was an easy way to keep an eye on them.
I know, but what happens if you go down to the basement, see your daughter, 2 men? You're just gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna go get the money. I'm gonna walk away.
Yeah, but I feel like they didn't have the intention of killing her in the basement. Like, obviously, they had some place that they were going to bring her.
Probably.
But
They
then
were just hiding in the
obviously
basement
they
for the
found out.
time.
Yeah,
The
Yeah.
because they
basement
could have heard her up.
Waking up, they had to hide quickly before she came. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah,
obviously
that makes sense, yeah.
immediately going
But
to
I've
call the
never
police.
heard anyone like say that kind of like theory that they found out that the police were informed. You know,
Well, no, because if
I mean,
you're
it makes
you're
sense.
it does make
what's
sense.
the
doesn't
chance?
it?
What's the chance? Maybe the basement was like an office or something. They'd one of the landlines.
Utility room.
Maybe, yeah, a utility room, yeah, down the basement. So she could have picked up the phone, called the police. You know, you can pick up the other landline and you
Yeah.
can hear exactly
Yeah,
what's going on.
that's really
So
true.
he could have heard that she was on the phone, decided to pick up the phone, listen to the conversation, realised, obviously, oh, she's going to call the police.
There
Kill the shot.
are recordings of her on the phone to the police as well.
Yeah. But
That-
even, like, you not think the child might be screaming?
Yeah,
Unless they...
Duct tape.
They duct taped her.
Oh, yeah.
you
I
could
forgot about that too.
being duct tape. You could still make
No.
a fair amount of noise.
You can, and
When
you
your
can
mouth
kick
is
around.
shut, but you could.
When you
I mean,
have,
yeah, I
when
guess.
You
you're-
could
when
kick
you're
around,
five-
knock
hang
stuff
on,
down,
guys, when you're a
make a noise.
5-year-old and you have two strange men duct tape you,
Yeah, you wouldn't know what to do.
True.
She was probably in
I
shock.
would sentence, yeah.
Even
True.
she could have even been
And they
still
said
asleep
Yeah, but
Yeah,
most people would
they said
start crying.
before she
asphyxiation.
found
Most
out.
5-year-olds would probably just start crying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
but they
can be
wouldn't hear
very
her
loud.
crying because
That can be loud.
I mean,
Especially
like,
if, like,
think
if you
think
just-
about it. It's a big house. They're in the basement, the
Yeah.
lowest part of the house.
and the family
Do
is
you reckon you could
upstairs.
hear Macy or Willow crying from in?
If
what's
their
it-
mouth was
If they
duct
were in the
taped.
playroom, no.
And that their mouths were duct taped. You must remember.
But what if they were like down below in the
Sure,
room
they
right
could've-
below us?
They could have easily knocked the
They
child
would-
out. Chloroform or
Yeah.
something. Easily.
Literally, they said like asphyxiation was.
How she
Caused
died?
her
No,
death.
that was from a cord being around her neck.
Suffocation.
like,
Like,
they-
she was
they
strangled
choked
to
her.
death.
But also what it came up
It's
in
not that hard
the
to
autopsy
to
that she
strangle.
was drugged, and it never did.
Yeah.
It would have been a horrible.
It's not
ending
that hard to
save
choke
the
someone
basement.
to make them go to sleep.
Where did they ask to leave the money?
Shoot it.
Oh.
No way. It's
Quick,
like,
you
we'll
said it,
call
said
We'll
you.
call you.
So they must have had a number to begin with. He must have had the number.
Okay.
But what are your conspiracies on who killed her?
I'm getting into that, but
Yeah.
I'm still on the ransom note.
Oh, that's still not finished.
It is finished, but
Okay.
there's also
Okay.
so the worst, part about the whole ransom note is that it was determined that the ransom note was wrote from pen and paper from inside the house,
No.
and
That makes sense.
That does make sense.
It-
Yeah, but like, oh my god.
Who is gonna pre-write a
How
ransom
long were
note
they
before you go to the
there?
house?
How long
I
were they
mean,
there?
That
I
that
mean,
is.
it was
And
very
they
detailed.
obviously, no,
They
here's the
obviously
thing.
knew what they
Here's the
wanted.
scariest thing about that. They obviously knew their way around the house if they knew where
Yeah.
the pen and paper was.
yeah, but it also brought suspicion onto the integrity of the note. Like, was it fake due to the fact that it was wrote inside the house?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Written.
So it could have been like a family member.
Could have.
Yeah,
No, but like there was unidentified DNA.
I'll get into that later. As
Gloves.
Unidentified DNA.
well. Okay,
Gloves.
so
I love the way you said that out.
No, but that's
Put
Okay.
something on the glove's hand. And it's,
Easily gloves. But even like the rope. Going back to the rope, it wasn't. Okay, Hannah, continue on.
yeah.
So the fact that it was wrote, inside the house,
Yeah.
it suggests that the killer somehow entered the house, wrote the note inside, and for some reason they killed John Bonet, which I think they called the police. and
Yes,
they
because
found
they
out.
called the police. Yeah.
And all of that happening while the family members were
Were asleep.
still asleep inside the house.
Right.
Like, that is,
Scary.
it's scary
That's
and
very
like
scary.
it's kind of unbelievable.
Imagine like even like the little brother,
9-year-old brother.
9-year-old brother. Imagine him getting thirsty, running down the stairs to grab a glass of water, and just seeing these men writing a note,
I forgot about
And
the
their
brother.
sister,
like tied
his sister
up
just
beside
tied
him.
up.
That's scary.
Like, the possibility of like
Or even
them
like
being found
running
out
down the
was
stairs,
really,
and halfway up the
really-
stairs, you meet this man who's trying to stick a note to the wall.
What would you do in that situation?
Hi.
Run.
Hi, sure.
I'd scream and run.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'd scream
Yeah.
and like call for your mother.
Yeah.
But the minute that happens, what's the chance that like they would have killed the daughter? But even
They
though
probably
the poor,
would've.
I mean,
yeah,
they've seen
would've
you.
killed you too,
They're
though.
either going to take you.
But also,
then
you
both.
screaming will
I would
wake up your
assume-
parents.
but I would
Exactly.
assume that they were like wearing balaclavas and like covered themselves up so they wouldn't be seen of who it was. Like,
Probably.
imagine like having
But
like
they also
a
couldn't.
t-shirt on and having full sleeves of tattoos. You could easily be identified if you had full sleeves of tattoos.
Yeah, but they seemed really, really confident in the whole thing.
So
Yeah.
they were
They could've-
well planned
They
out.
could have
They were
slipped up
definitely
really
well planned
easily.
They could have easily messed up, but they had that wicked planned out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
what I'm saying is what like the two men that were guarding her, are those their initials? Because if they're the ones that wrote the
Very
note,
possible.
they could have
But
been the ones that
See,
were.
there was 2 footprints found in the house.
The 2 men.
So I'm assuming that
Two
one
sets or
man
just-
was writing the ransom note while the other guy was going up and getting
Yeah.
Jean Bonnet and, you know, tying her up and everything.
Yeah.
So that could also be why they
But
had
you
so
would
much
need
time.
a backup.
She was asleep though. And
But
she
even
didn't wake
like
up.
a coincidence that
assumingly.
someone woke up, they came downstairs, found out there was someone downstairs, or even like imagine have 2 men walking around your house, easily being able to bump into one of them at least.
Yeah.
Like it's just
But also this was like really late in the night, so they would have been in like a deep sleep.
proper sleep.
Yeah.
Some
But
people
you
are
wonder
very light
why,
sleepers.
like there is so
Yeah, but
there's
still.
completely like not enough information on this because like they still haven't explained why the mother woke up
Yeah,
at
no,
5
keep,
o'clock
keep
in the
on going,
morning.
Hannah.
So an analysis of the notebook shows that there was a practice note.
Okay.
Oh my god.
And part of the practice letter was found, like, you know, just a piece of it, like, ripped up, was
Yeah.
just found. They also found a series of spelling mistakes on the letter of words, you know, that would be quite easy to spell.
Interesting.
But then some wondered,
that-
you know,
that
how words like
wonder-
attaché, you know, that French word
Yeah.
with the accent on it,
Yeah.
on the E. Like, how was that spelled right, but then easy words like possession?
Yeah, that's
spelled wrong.
interesting.
So that
Maybe
also
they're
leads
foreign.
people to believe could be
French
fake.
speaking.
So if you think about it, they didn't like what country his business was supporting. They couldn't spell English, but they could spell French perfectly fine.
And so if we think
They
of
So
could
somebody
be
if
saying-
French,
you
but
figured
also,
out what-
Jean
Yeah.
Bonnet is a French name.
Yeah.
it is.
Yo, what's the
So if
chances
you
like, the
found
2 people are
out-
either co-workers or family friends?
Yeah,
That's
co-workers
also a
easily.
really
Because
good,
they said
you know.
they didn't like him,
Yeah.
so it could have been like.
But like
They
if,
couldn't
five-
know
if
him
we
personally.
knew what
His
business
employees.
Yeah.
he had, but you couldn't have googled his business. It wouldn't have come up, would it? If you
I
business
feel,
Well,
I
Ramsey,
feel like
Sure.
it could have been a big franchise if he had
Probably.
so much money.
Yeah. Wait, where was he living again?
Colorado, I think.
wait, what's his name? We'll try and look it up.
John Ramsey.
John Ramsey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, while she's doing that, I'll keep.
Yeah.
Police theorized that Patsy accidentally killed John Bonet. It is also theorized that Burke also had a part in accidentally killing him,
Which was
Her-
Burke?
her brother.
Her 9-year-old brother.
I think, like, can I just say, I think that's an easy excuse just because they know
Yeah.
that they were in the house.
Yeah.
He's an American businessman, an author. Yeah, that's all that's on it. Like
That's interesting.
That's really interesting.
it literally just says American businessman. He's written books, 2 books, but I'm pretty sure that's about their experience.
I'm sure.
It looks
Yeah,
like they're books
'cause-
about their experience.
Who wouldn't want to read about that?
Yeah.
Education in Okemos High School and Michigan State University. They're definitely French because the spouse
Yeah.
is Jan Rousseau. It's spelled the like French way though. Pat Ramsey. Oh, okay. So he had 2 spouses. So Pat Ramsey was 1980 2006, but Jan Rousseau was 2011
Interesting. But
Patsy
they-
Ramsey, the one.
with that
So they
Right.
mother.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's okay. Carry on. Sorry.
Anyways, for Burke and Patsy to be culprits of the ransom note. Culprits of the ransom note? Sorry, I lost my train of thought. For Burke and Patsy to be culprits, the ransom note would have had to be staged, but so would the strangulation, and that doesn't add up to when you consider the evidence of Jean Bonnet was still alive when she was strangled. A handwritten analysis ruled out, like handwriting, you know,
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
just to check if the
Oh yeah, that would have been handy.
it ruled out John and ruled Patsy as inconclusive.
Okay.
But experts believe there's more evidence of death by murder from someone outside the house.
Yeah.
In 2013, it had came to light that in 1999, a grand jury had voted to grant charges on John Bonet's parents of child abuse resulting in death. However, Alex Hunter, a district attorney at the time, didn't sign the indictment due to him believing there was not enough evidence to support the charges. Putting more doubt on the theory is the DNA found from the crime scene. You know, it just got rid of the entire family
Being suspects.
yeah. John Mark Carr, he's a suspect. I didn't write about all the suspects because some of them were just too
Okay.
obviously not, you know.
It's obviously not them.
Yeah. So John Mark Carr, a divorced father and elementary school teacher, didn't become a suspect until 10 years after the trial. When he confessed to the murder via email to a journalist.
He confessed.
Yeah, to Michael Tracy. He had emailed back and forth to John for 4 years to, you know, gain his trust.
Yeah.
Tracy said this about the experience. You're reading and hearing a truly dark side of the human psyche, and having to pretend it's okay that I wasn't going to sit in judgment, because otherwise the communication would have stopped this. This is the worst experience of my life by far. It was horrible.
So who wrote that?
The journalist. About, you know, talking to him for 4 years.
It's horrible.
Yeah. And I'd say to get, you know, his trust, he'd kind of have to be like, oh yeah, like, I've
She
done some
deserved
bad
it.
things and all this stuff, pretending he was a bad journalist.
Oh man.
Imagine messing with someone like that, though. That's horrible.
Imagine
Yeah,
dating
yeah.
someone's like,
That would
imagine
be
like
even really bad on his mental health.
Yeah.
imagine
Worst
one of you
thing ever.
turning around and being like, ha, psych, I did this. Like imagine Owen turn around, Owen America, I killed
like,
Why
this.
is it always me?
I don't know,
Because
you're
you're
a
just
special
gone.
guest. You're the special guest. I'm kidding.
Yes.
I want to know
There's
what,
more
what
suspects?
story with the 118,000. I need to know.
What?
118,000.
Yeah,
I
you know
need
how
to
it was.
know.
You said you didn't
It's
answer about the cash.
Coming. Actually, did I not read that out?
Wait.
Hmm.
Oh. No, you didn't.
No, about the cash and it being.
Oh yeah, so basically he had a bonus of $118,000
Wow. So
that year.
obviously someone
Okay.
who worked with him or
Yeah,
someone
who
who
he knew
knew
well.
someone who worked
Yeah.
with him closely to know.
Thought they deserved it more than he.
Well, no, but
Wait,
to know
so
what
then-
he was earning.
Yeah, could have
Yeah.
been
That's usually
working with
not
him.
public information.
But then why was the
Just give me more and more hints.
the
that it was the dad.
bills, the dollar?
I don't know.
No, it wasn't it that?
that was just
That
their
could
own
have just
kind
been
of
the
thing.
way they wanted it to
Because he
be,
wouldn't get any money from it.
Might have been
Yeah,
easier to
just
split the money
everything
amongst
against
whoever
it,
is
or
in on it.
even
Huh?
the whole bank thing, him
Pretty
having
much
to get it
everything
out of
against
there.
it.
Imagine getting a bonus of
$118,000.
Imagine getting
But
paid
I think it was
$118,000
$2,000.
a year.
mad.
So in his emails, Carr had used similar wordings from the ransom note, and at one point he used Patsy's mother's nickname in an email. And it's, you know, it's kind of weird that like he'd
These were the
know that.
kidnappers.
No, there was this is the guy that confessed
Yeah.
during and he, so like, you know, it's kind of weird that.
Patsy was having an affair. Just saying. Just saying. Throw it out there. She's possible. Or he was having an affair. That could have been possible too.
You never know.
You never know.
He was having an affair. The wife or the mistress.
I love how
whatever.
this is just turned into like our theory.
Yeah.
Our theory.
I love it.
Go on, sorry. Go on.
Well, that's all conspiracy
Okay.
theories. Are.
Exactly.
Everyone's own opinion
Yeah.
about it.
So Carr admitted he was in love with Jean Bonnet, and
The
later,
The 5-year-old
five-year-old.
John Bonet.
yeah,
Who said that?
Oh
the daughter,
my
your
lord.
man who
Wow.
confessed.
Nonce.
Pedosexuals and lol.
Okay.
Wow.
Big strokey
Okay.
nuts.
Jesus, this is disgusting.
Calm down.
And later, he confessed to hitting John Bonet in the head with a flashlight.
While
Harsh-
kidnapping. When
While
he was
kidnapping
apparently
her.
kidnapping her.
Yeah. Part of the email wrote, she of course was asleep from the time that I took her from her bed and took her into the basement. Her first reaction was, where am I? And I said, you're in your basement. She wasn't in that little room to be disgraced, and I would never disgrace her or dishonor her. She was there
Killed her.
temporarily.
I think that's pretty disgraceful
Yeah.
to kill someone you're in love with, but okay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah,
continue.
Whatever.
She was there temporarily, and what really hurts me is that she stayed there, and that's where her father found her, and it's just a horrible thing.
Okay, so if you kidnap a child who apparently you're in love with, why would you ask, first of all, her father for money and then kill her? If you're in love with someone, you wouldn't
Yeah.
kill them.
Or ask their father for money.
No,
Well,
I
yeah,
mean,
no,
like,
maybe he wanted the money to run away with her.
With a 5-year-old.
Yeah, to kidnap a 5-year-old.
A recently divorced man who has a child.
Yep. Well, I mean,
Dad,
there's
you're right.
there's a bit of a disconnect there anyway
Yeah.
Yeah.
from reality.
I think he was forced to fess up.
Yeah, I think he was framed.
It's a pretty common thing where people like are forced to.
Yeah.
They could have threatened to kill his child.
True. Okay, anyways. On August 16th, 2008, with help from the British Intelligence Royal Thai authorities and the US Department of Homeland Security, they were able to track down Kar in Bangkok, Thailand. Is that how you say it?
Bangkok.
Bangkok. Where he traveled to get away from child pornography charges in California.
Wow.
Who's this
That's
now?
insane.
The same guy.
The same guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
That's
It adds
insane.
up.
Pedo.
Yeah.
It adds up.
Okay.
Not the money though.
Yeah,
doesn't want money?
that doesn't.
That
Really?
doesn't add up.
Dude, who doesn't want money though?
Yeah, but it was a specific amount of money.
But
That's
that's
it was
the
his
bonus.
bonus.
had earned.
So
It's not like he
who
wanted
was
100
what
Well,
was connected to this guy in the
118,000 to
family?
start
There
a
is
new
no
life
connection.
with.
I've
He's
never
not
found
really-
out.
This
any
is just a
connection.
random
Yeah,
guy.
maybe he would have asked for like 100 grand, not 118.
And 180
And
That was the
specifics,
exact
like,
bonus.
in
That was the exact
a
bonus.
specific type of notes and everything.
Yeah, but who was
118
he-
grand
who was
isn't actually
John
that much money.
Carr to the family?
I don't know.
But if
Nobody-
it's the bonus that the father was getting, then he must have had some connection to the work.
Yeah.
So
seems
this
more
guy
likely to
must have
be-
worked with him, or must have had some sort. Unless he was the accountant for the company,
I mean, I feel
Or
like
worked
they'd
in the
say
bank
that.
or something.
or worked in the bank.
I mean,
Yeah.
If you work in a bank, you could easily rob the bank rather than like kidnap some kid.
But he said no tampering with the money. No one, you know what I mean. No one.
No marks or anything on it.
He could have well been working for the bank. You know what I mean? Because like, then he would know if he alerted the bank.
Mm-mm.
So
Maybe.
very. I just don't think he is. I think he was forced. to.
yeah, I don't think they.
And
Well,
the fact that it's also a random guy that stepped up,
Yeah.
and also
After
a
10
friend of a
years.
journalist as well, and all.
No, he wasn't friends with the
He
journalist.
wasn't
The
friends with the
journalist
journalist.
reached out to him and then got
Oh.
close to him for him to. I
So
don't
the
know why.
journalist
He,
was
I don't know
unlikely
why the
to-
journalist did it, or
Unless
what
the
he has to
journalist
do
got
with
an anonymous tip that this guy could have.
or the journalist did it.
It seems very unlikely. Why would the
No,
journalist
Kieran.
specifically pick this person?
I know.
I don't
An
know.
anonymous
Years
tip,
on
an
it.
easy anonymous tip, and this guy could have been pushed to say, because obviously this was an ongoing investigation, and in order for the kidnappers to close it down, someone has to confess. So they made this guy confess, tipped the journalist, saying, "Hey, listen, this guy's got a bit something funky about him."
yeah, especially because he does have child pornography charges.
That's true.
Exactly, so it matches up.
The money
It's
does.
just the
But
money
I
doesn't
don't think
do
he
that.
would have
No, I
used the
think-
money
I
to
think
run
he
away.
was-
118 grand isn't that. $118,000 isn't that much. Like you can't even buy a
Yeah,
house
but it's
for that.
really specific.
Yeah, it's
It's really-
specific.
It's
the
way too
bonus. It's the
specific. Someone
exact
would just be
bonus.
like $1 million.
No, if they were asking for something like that, they'd ask for 100 grand, not 118.
Yeah, they wouldn't.
Yeah, but
And
if you're-
even it would have been 120, not
Yeah.
18. That's like way too specific.
yeah, but
And
even-
as Hannah said, it is the exact bonus that the father had gotten that year.
Yeah.
yeah, but why would you? You can't really run away with 118.
Easily you can run
Yeah,
away.
you
I know,
can.
but
You
if
can
you
run
want to
away
go
on
start a
nothing.
new life, well, yeah, but
Start a new life, yeah, you need much more,
Yeah,
but
you
just to
could-
go
He,
away.
That's what
he
he wanted
just
to.
he's just in hiding. He didn't want to start a new life.
I mean, like, think about it. You have 118,000. You go to a completely different country.
Nobody's
You
gonna
start
know
a
who
job,
you are.
and then you have money left over plus you're earning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you have
You
to have
can
an
easily
address
do
to
it.
get a job, don't you?
No.
No, not necessarily.
118 grand is easy enough to get you
Yeah.
a studio apartment or something.
Or
Yeah,
even
go to, like,
just, or even say
A
the B&B
caravan
like
or something.
Yeah. A tent.
a hotel, not a hotel, a motel.
A car.
Motel 6.
Anyways,
Parking
carry on.
space.
his
I don't know.
DNA did not match the DNA on the scene, and he wasn't charged with anything.
So he wasn't right. Okay.
Yeah, no, he had nothing to do with
Yeah,
it.
obviously.
But the Department of Homeland Security kept on investigating on him, as he always maintained that he was not the only person who did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was obviously more men involved.
And then, as you can recall, there were 2 sets of footprints.
Yes.
Do you remember that? Mark Becker, the former police chief who was in charge of the investigation, said that his confession, once they, told it to him, it didn't match the evidence at the scene,
Yeah, no, obviously it did.
and they knew about 18 hours he was not the guy who did it, and they were able to confirm it wasn't him.
Yeah.
And they confirmed that he was in Colorado at the time, so it wasn't in Colorado. I don't actually know where it was set, so
I don't. I
Oh, in a
couldn't-
place
couldn't
I saw
find-
it.
I
Was it
saw
Michigan?
The guy
It's
was
no-
born in Nebraska,
Wait, who is this? Who are we looking for?
in Lincoln, Nebraska. He
John
was
Ramsey,
born.
just where he lived.
Yeah, John Ramsey. So I found it. He lived, Lincoln, Nebraska. He was
Nebraska.
born there, but if I go back to
Even just look up John Ramsey, not Jean Bonnet.
John Bonet, yeah, it says just John Ramsey again. Okay, John Bonet, location Boulder, Colorado,
Colorado.
but Boulder, obviously that's obviously a different part.
Oh, they found out he wasn't in Colorado at
Okay.
the time.
Alright,
Not
so he
that
wasn't.
was.
Yeah.
Just by doing some routine checking, and then obtained photos of him in Georgia at the time she was murdered.
Right.
Dr. Henry Lee, a DNA expert, studied the DNA from the scene, and as he thought the DNA from the underwear could be traces from the manufacturer. He proved this by testing an unopened bag of underwear, which also came back with DNA on it, which concluded that the DNA from the crime scene was considered fallacious, meaning any of the suspects could have been ruled as guilty.
Right.
Because the only reason they weren't ruled guilty was the DNA on the clothes,
The unidentified DNA.
which was the manufacturer.
Was the guy convicted for child pornography?
Already.
I actually don't know. He was running from those charges, so I assume he probably was when they found him.
That's so suspicious to begin with.
What? So
There's definitely
we
more
think
to
it's a
it.
co-worker.
There is a lot
or,
more
like,
to it.
Someone
somebody
having an
who
affair.
He must have known.
I think it's someone that John was having an affair with, because they would know like his
Yeah, but then
intake. They'd know his intake. He'd know that he probably loved his wife and kids more than they loved the other person, whether the person was a man or a woman, and then like obviously he was trying to hide the affair, but they probably wanted more. They're probably thinking like, well, if we all go tits up, sure. The chances are like usually when a child dies in the family, it usually ends in divorce. Like a lot of the time, it's a divorce. So I don't know. That's just my suspicion that he probably had an affair.
wouldn't they
Can
be a
I?
suspect
Yeah,
though?
that for sure would have been dug up.
But
Yeah.
They
why
did a
would
whole
why
background
would
check.
Yeah,
why would
exactly.
John
Everything that's
Ramsey?
happened.
He mightn't have wanted to fess up about having an affair. Why would you fess up?
No, but
about
they
having
would
an
have found
affair?
it. They definitely would have found
that
it.
would have totally been found.
Meh. I'm not sure about that.
You have like obviously became like a big story. You have some of the top investigators in
Yeah.
America.
But how would you find out if someone's having an affair? The
They're
fact that he wasn't a
investigators.
suspect to begin with.
He only wasn't a
If it's,
suspect
it
because
was
of the
only
handwriting.
if it's so why would he look into his life if
But
they don't
also,
need to?
why was her mother awake? Her mother could have done it and then faked it.
I don't see
Possibly.
why the mother would.
Affair.
An affair, but who would she?
No, like
No, but like thing is,
that's the whole point. He
I
was
asked
having
Or
why
an
maybe
affair.
maybe
He
she
was-
never
yeah.
even liked Sean Bonet.
Yeah,
she never loved her own daughter.
Yeah,
gold digger.
there are people out there that are like that.
That is true. That
I
is
mean,
very
like,
true.
All she probably
Maybe
cared
she
about
was
Sean
jealous
Bonet
of
was-
her
Yeah.
Maybe.
from winning all those pageants.
Yeah, like when I looked up
Oh.
her on Wikipedia, the image that came up was her in like a tiara and a sash.
Yeah,
Hmm.
You can tell she's
Right.
ingrained that.
I don't know. I still think it was the father that had the affair because then if they knew his salary, why would someone that the wife was having an affair with know?
No, that's
That
my
she-
point. She's angry at her husband for him having an affair.
I just really
Can I
doubt she
can I
killed
just
her
say
daughter.
there is a 6-part docu-series about this that I do plan on watching.
yeah. I
Looks
watched the
very good.
documentary on it.
You
I
did.
highly doubt that he had an affair.
Yeah.
I don't think he did. I don't think either of them had an affair.
So you think it was a co-worker?
I don't know who it is.
No.
I kind
It
of
has to be someone.
it was
who knows
also
somebody.
kinda
Maybe
like-
they know or knows him.
Yeah.
everyone kind of assumed it was the mother, so she got a lot of backlash from that
Right.
because it was pinned on her a lot.
Yeah, but why would she kill her own daughter? I just doubt
It could have been an accident,
an accident.
If it
Yeah.
were an accident,
She
I'd
was
say
but
Strangulation.
also the strangulation could,
It couldn't have been an accident. That's you. If you
Yeah.
strangle someone, you intend to kill them.
Hmm.
Like, well, it couldn't have been an accident.
Yeah.
I feel like it's
or
more.
it could have been her brother.
her
Her
brother.
nine-
Maybe he was jealous of her because
Yeah, but
his
he wouldn't
parents were
write a whole
paying.
ransom note like that or anything.
Yeah,
Well,
but no,
if you
maybe
saw
the
the
mother found
handwriting-
out. The mother found out
And he was covering
Right.
the child.
that, and then she covered it up to protect her child. Because the handwriting did match her handwriting.
Oh,
Did it?
Wow.
That's why she was,
Suspected.
not.
so you
That's what I
think
say.
that the 9-year-old killed the 5-year-old?
I feel like
Mother
it could
found
be a
out, so
possibility.
to protect her only other child, she tried to cover it up. That is a very good conspiracy.
There's so many possibilities though.
That's what makes it a great mystery.
Yeah.
And even in the documentary, it showed clips of them all being, investigated. And he never said anything. Like, he would
Yeah.
not speak to anybody.
Who?
The brother.
The 9-year-old.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
But also, like,
who do we
what
know
type
that's
of
9
evidence
years old?
could a
Like,
9-year-old
what
give?
age is Macy?
you know,
7.
Alright, so older. Who do we know that's 9-year-olds? Because I'm trying to pinpoint what the
Yeah.
mental state of a 9-year-old is.
Well, we can't compare that to anyone because none of
Nobody's
that
the same.
9-year-old sister is a beauty
Brother.
pageant.
5-year-old sister,
6
9-year-old brother.
six-year-old guys, by the way.
6-year-old, sorry.
Well, your sister, who's 3 years younger than you, is like recognized.
Well, my
At
brother's
least
3 years older
statewide.
than me. So if you imagine, like years ago.
What if you were a beauty
No, I
pageant?
think it's
and,
more
like,
accurate. Yeah.
Like, he was
Picture
jealous.
someone who's famous but minorly famous, and then their brother. Or
And his
sister.
parents probably spent more time with her
Yeah.
Probably.
because of the pageants.
Yeah.
So he was jealous, he was older. And,
He didn't get the right treatment, so maybe he was a little messed up in the head.
and that would also explain why there was no footprints.
Neglect. Yeah.
But that
Yeah.
also wouldn't explain the 2 footprints that were unidentified.
Yeah.
But that also could have just been people in the house
Yeah.
that
Or it
day.
could've
But that
just
would
been the
explain
mom.
how
They
the
should-
mother
they
knows
would've
the
known
bonus
that,
he
yeah.
got. The mother knows, and that might have also explained why she rang the police.
What's just assault?
To make it look like
She panicked and went, because that's
Yeah,
what I was
'cause
saying
actually-
earlier. Because earlier I was saying, why'd she just go wake the husband up?
Yeah,
But then they would have had no reason why the child would be dead. So the reason was because in the ransom note it said, "Do not call the police. Child's dead, so call the police." And actually,
I mean, props to
That
her.
makes-
She did.
she-
fair
Smart.
play, fair play.
there was a recording of the phone call, did I tell you that?
Yeah.
And in it, I didn't mention it when I was, talking.
Did you hear the recording?
Yeah,
could hear
it was in the documentary
Alright, we'll listen to
that
that
I
later.
watched. But it kind of sounded before she hung up. Her tone changed, and it was as if she was talking to somebody else in the room.
Oh, could have been the 9-year-old.
And she didn't sound like, the way you'd be on the phone, like distraught.
You'd be panicking,
She just
you're like,
snapped.
"My child," yeah.
Back to normal.
That is a very.
Was she talking like she was talking to a 9-year-old, or like she was talking to?
I don't know.
someone?
It was kind of
You
muffled.
wouldn't really talk to a 9-year-old like a normal 9-year-old if they killed someone.
Yeah, you wouldn't. You'd have a very different. Imagine your child kills your other child. You would have a very different tone
Yeah.
towards them. But I don't get why she would still protect the 9-year-old.
I think it would depend on the person.
Because she loves him.
Yeah,
It's her child.
Yeah.
Can you blame a murder on a 9-year-old? But realistically,
Like,
would
he
you
could
convict a
have
9-year-old
easily
of a murder?
pretended that it was an accident, that he didn't intentionally do it, and tell his mother that.
Yeah, I know. Strangulation is not really accidental.
If you
It can be.
Also-
What happens if
also-
you grab something and you are like,
it's just the
you
whole
throw it around someone's
the
neck?
duct tape.
They get.
It's just the duct tape.
Yeah,
That could have
Purposely
been the
putting
murder.
rope around someone's neck and then grabbing a paintbrush
No,
of all
but
things
it-
and twisting it to strangle someone. You don't accidentally do that.
Plus,
But he
how would a
did.
9-year-old know
He
to do
could've-
that? Come on.
I know.
He
right?
could have strangled her before, and then the mother was like, "Oh, this is how he strangled her."
But then they would have found.
But he could have done it
See, the
completely
more
different.
the
It's one of
mother.
messed up
No,
family.
I feel like the more the mother messed with the crime scene, the more fingerprints she would have gotten
Yeah.
and everything. So
Gloves.
if she touched the child.
Gloves.
But it could have also just been because it's her daughter. She would have touched her before she went to bed, hugging her goodnight.
Whoa.
That's the reasons
Was
why
there
her
fingerprints
fingerprints
on the
would have
rope?
been on him. I don't know.
They didn't test the rope. Especially the one outside the house. Remember, they didn't test it.
Well, the paintbrush
No, it
was
was a
from the
cord
mum's
around
art
her
set,
neck, a
wasn't it?
rope outside the house.
Oh, okay.
Not outside the house, outside Sean Monet's bedroom.
Oh, God.
But so the paintbrush was from the mother's thing.
It's from
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
Art
So
set.
if her fingerprints were on that, you could just be like,
It's hers.
I use it.
Her paintbrush, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so that's all for today.
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
No,
You're
no,
welcome.
no.
Anytime.
I'm so
Anytime.
happy to have you back anyway. And you're heading off tomorrow, so we'll hope to see you soon.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming with us and, having our little discussion.
Yeah. I guess see you in the next podcast.
Alright.
By the way, I said that's hot 18 times.
If you want to listen back to it and spot all of Owen's 18, that's hot. Let us know if you do that.
Bye. I love you.
Yeah.
See you
check out our
guys.
handles in the description. Go check out our social medias.
Student_sound on Instagram. Thank you so much for listening, guys, and we'll see you next time.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.